Hello, Mona West here with a new beaded jewelry project. Today I'm going to show you how to make a pair of earrings, which I'm calling the Clematis earring. And this earring uses a new bead, which is called the ZoliDuo. So it is a 2-hole bead, and it's shaped kind of like a comma. I was really intrigued by this shape, and so I wanted to try it out. There are lots of really neat colors, and I've made it in 2 so far. It's different than a lot of beads. For one thing, it's got a left and a right hand bead. So for instance, here you can see on this side and on this side how the narrow end of the bead is towards the center. That's because these are actually 2 separate kinds of beads. These are the left hand and these are the right hand. So if you want to make a project with these, that's important to note because you may need to get 2 of them. So this is a fairly simple earring, not too complicated. It does have kind of an interesting, sort of an interesting kind of beads in that both of the ZoliDuo and the candy beads in the middle have a top and a bottom, and then the ZoliDuos have a left and a right. So there's a couple things you need to pay attention to while you're making the earrings, but other than that, there's really nothing very difficult about it. So let me show you the beads that you will need, and then we can get started. For this project, I'm going to show you how to make the gold ZoliDuo earring, and I also will put down in the remarks down below what you need for the silver one that I also showed you. So for the gold one, here's what you're going to need. You're going to need about 1 gram of number 11 beads. I'm using here Sandstone Lined Crystal AB, and these are Toho beads. And then you're going to need 4 3mm fire polish beads. These are Apollo Gold. You could try it with others too. I think pretty much any 3mm might work, like if you want to use bicones, I think that should be fine. Next, you're going to need 2 candy beads, and these are in Crystal Sliperit. It has, I'm not sure I can make it show up here, but yeah, a little bit. It has a lot of different colors in it, kind of everything from sort of orange to purple, which goes well with the other beads in this project. I don't know that there's anything that you can substitute for this. This is a 2-hole bead. I did try using 2-hole cabochons, but that didn't work because they're quite a bit smaller. These are pretty good sized. I think they're 6 or 8 millimeters, so you'd have to have something about that size to work, and that is 2-hole. And then here are the stars of the show, the ZoliDuo beads. So for this project, you're going to need 8 of the left hand ones and 8 of the right hand ones. So make sure that you do get both of those, as I said in the beginning. Make sure you have both. And then the only other things you're going to need is a beading needle, like an 11 or 12, and some beading thread. For this, I am going to recommend, I usually say, your beading thread of your choice, but for this I am going to suggest that you use something that's fairly stiff. This is, let me see, this is Wildfire. Fireline would also work just fine. Those are both fairly stiff. And this is a 0.006, which is also the same as 6 pound. So that's what you need. So next up, let's get started on our earring. Okay, to start out, you're going to take one of your candy beads and 4 of the ZoliDuos. So these, in this case, are the right the right side ones. And I've laid them down here on purpose this way because, as I said in the introduction, both the candy beads and the ZoliDuo beads have an up side and a down side, and the ZoliDuos also have left and right. So it's kind of important to get things situated correctly. So here you can see this is the bottom of the candy bead and this is the top. And the ZoliDuo similarly, the bottom is flat and doesn't have a lot of color in it. And the top part is rounded and has a lot of color. So let me see if I can get this guy turned around. There we go. So it's important, as I said, you got to have them in the right orientation. So I'm going to go down the candy bead. Okay, like that. Pull it down and leave maybe about a 4 to 6 inch tail. You can put a stopper bead if you want to, or you can just hang on to it, whichever you are comfortable with. Now I'm going to begin picking up my ZoliDuos. All right, so I want everything to be facing like this. So I am going to pick up, going through the skinny end, this hole on the skinny side of the ZoliDuo. And I'll show you a little trick. If I can get this fella facing the right way. It's a little hard to make sure you can see it on camera, and also for me to be able to pick it up. Okay, so now I'm going to bring it down and lay it next to my candy bead. Okay, so I can tell that this is the correct orientation. This is how it's supposed to look. I'll show you on the actual finished earring. You can see how I'm over here. I've got the candy bead, and now I'm starting to put on the ZoliDuos for this side. So now that I know orientation, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pick up each one of the ZoliDuos and stick the needle through the hole in the small end. There's 2, here's 3, and here's 4. Okay, and I'm going to bring them all the way down. So everything's pretty flopsy right now, and that's okay. Just take your time and get everything going the right way. And so now I have all of them down in position. Now I'm going to go back up through the same hole in the candy bead. So there's a hole over here that goes this way, and there's a hole on this side, which is the one we went through. So now we're going to go through that one again. Then I'm going to grab onto my tail so the beads don't come off, and pull tight. Okay, so this is what I have, and that is exactly what we want. All right, so my next step now is to pick up 3 of the 11O seed beads. Okay, and now I am going to go into the outer hole of the first ZoliDuo, like that. And now I'm going to continue down this line of the ZoliDuos and add 111 between each of the beads. So there's the second one. Here's the third one. And it definitely helps to keep your fingers on top, your thumb on top, to keep all the beads straight, because at this point they're still really floppy and can get all confusing. And then the fourth one. Okay, now that you've done that, you can pull everything tight again. Sorry for my fingers being on top here, but it's about the only way to pull it tight. Okay, so now we are on the other side, and so now we're going to again add 3 of the 11O beads over here, just like we did over here. And then we are going to go back through that candy bead another time. Okay, so there's 3 11Os. So now I'm going to go through the candy bead. Okay, so now I am coming out to the other side of the candy bead, and this is what I have, and this already has provided a lot of structure to the earring, so it's not going to flop around. So now we're going to travel over to the other hole on the candy bead, and so we're going to pick up 3 more 11s, and now I'm going to travel through the other hole of the candy bead. And so this is what I have now. A lot of what we're doing in this pattern is kind of outlining all the beads. So you're going to see quite a bit of that. You can see we have outlining around here, and we're going to have outlining around the candy bead. So now we are on the other side. Let's reorient this. So now we are going to pick up the left ZoliDuos. So I'll bring them down. And again, I'm going to place them in the correct manner. Now I can look and see that these are facing, let's see, yeah, that's the right way. Okay, so there's the 4 of them in the correct position. So now I'm going to pick each of them up and again go through the small hole of all 4 of them. I'm going to pull them down. And so again, because we're on the second side now, everything's all floppy, but I'll take time and kind of get them all oriented. And now I'm going to go this way through the candy bead. And I'm not going to be going through the number 11s on the end, only through the candy bead. And there you got it. So now we are going to just repeat what we did on the first side. We're going to put on 3 number 11s, go through the upper hole of the ZoliDuo, so that's the wider part of the bead. I'm going to put a number 11 after the first bead, and another one after the second bead, another one after the third bead, I'm going to pull everything tight. And now I'm going to I am going to add on again 3 more number 11 beads, and I'm going to go down through, back through this side of the candy bead. Okay, so there we are. Now, at this point, this is starting to get in my way because we're going to begin working on the 2 sides here. So I'm going to go off camera and I'm going to take care of my tail, which means I'll put a needle on this end and do a half hitch, go through another bead, do a half hitch, do it a couple times, and then just go through beads a couple times to make sure it's secure, and then I will cut off the tail. All right, so here we are. I have taken off my tail thread, and now I am going to go across this side of the candy bead using 3 11-0 seed beads, just as we did on the other side. So there are my 3 beads. And now I'm going to go across and out this side. Pull your thread tight. Okay, now next we're going to make the decoration that goes along the bottom of the bead. So to do that, I need to get back down through the 3 seed beads that are on this side. All right, now I'm coming out here, and I'm going to go over to here. So I'm going to pick up 4 more seed beads. And I'm going to turn my work a little bit, and then I'm going to go up the 3 11-0s on this side. Now I am going to retrace my path again because I need to end up over on this corner. So I'm going to go across the 3 that are along the candy bead. You can do all of this in one pass or multiple passes, just whatever works for you. So now I'm going to go back down through these 3. Now, on this corner here, I'm going to add another 11-0 between the last bead on the end here and the first bead here. And then I am going to go down 2 more of the 11-0s. And what that does is it kind of just puts a corner right there. It just makes it a little crisper looking. Now this is where one of my fire polish beads are going to go. So I'm going to pick that up, and then I am going to go into the next bead. So I'm coming out of the second bead, and I'm going to go into the third bead, and then come out, go down to the other 2 beads on the end here on this side, and come out here on the corner. Now what this will do is it will make this fire polish bead, because it's between 2 smaller beads, kind of stick out on the bottom. And you may have to do this, what I'm showing you here, because it may end up being kind of tilted one way or the other. So just pull it out and snug it up, and then it should be fairly straight. All right, now we're going to do on this corner what we did on this corner. We're going to add another 11-0, and then we are going to go up through the 3 11-0s on this side, like that, and then we're also then going to continue through and go down through the candy bead until we are coming out the other side. And again, not snagging any of the 11-0s on this side, just coming straight out of the candy bead. And there I was just straightening out the fire polish again. All right, now we're going to repeat what we did on this side. So I'm going to go down the 3 11-0s, come out the end, and now I'm going to pick up 4 11-0s to go across this space here. And then I'm going to go back up the 3 11-0s on this side. And then I'm going to go across the 3 11-0s at the end of the candy bead. And then back down through the 3 11-0s on this side. So here we are. Now this is where I'm going to put another 11-0 in this corner here between the 2 other 11s. And I'm going to go through the first 2 of the 11s across the bottom, and I'm going to pick up the next fire polish bead, and then I'm going into the very next 11-0 and through the one next to it, so that I'm coming out at the next corner. And I'm pulling on this and straightening it out a little. All right, and so now I'm picking up the last 11-0 to finish off this corner here. And once again, I am going to go through, I'm going to go back through this whole square. Okay, now what's left is just to make the little piece on the end that the earring hangs from. That's this little piece here. Now when you come down, remember those two corner beads we added at the end of the last round? We're not going to go through those because we want them to kind of stand out as corners. So I'm actually going to turn the whole thing over. Okay, so I'm now just going to go through the 2 beads before the fire polish. And then I am going to go up through the fire polish, and this is where the hanger is made. So pick up 6 of your 11-0s, like this, and you're going to circle around. We're coming out of this side of the fire polish, so we're going to go in through the other side. Okay, it doesn't look like much yet, but this is what you'll have. Now we're going to repeat that. We're going to go back up through 3 of the 11 O's, and we're going to pick up one more 11 O, and again we're going to place this 11 O between bead 3 and bead 4 at the top here. So we'll go down through the other 3 in the hanger. So now that we've come down these last 3, that the earring is really pretty much finished here. All I'm going to do is I'm going to go back in through the 2 beads in the bottom, not catching the one in the corner, and pull tight. That will help to create kind of the pyramid or triangular shape up at the top here. Now I'm just going to go in and tie a couple of half hitches and weave my thread through, and we will be done. Alright, so here we are. Here is the one I just finished. You attach a hanger, whatever kind of, attach a ear wire up at the top, and you have an earring. So here it is again in the kind of rose gold, and here it is in the silver. I thought of something I didn't mention at the beginning. In fact, I don't think I actually told you what color I was using in the ZoliDuos. This is called Crystal Etched Sunset. And this one here, the Crystal Etched Silver, both what are called etched beads, and I've used quite a few fire polish beads that are crystal etched, and I really like it because it gives a lot of subtle variation in the beads, so they're not just one color. They kind of shimmer with different colors. This one is a little more subtle than this one, but they both have that same effect. All right, so there's an earring. I wanted to also share with you that I am planning on starting to make patterns, written patterns for some of my designs. I've had quite a few requests, and so I'm going to open a second shop on Etsy just for my designs. It'll probably be called Joyful Heart Beaded Designs or something along that line. I want to get to 10 patterns done before I do open that shop. Right now I have 4 of them, so it won't be available right away, but I'm hoping that pretty soon I will have that up and running. So this is our design for today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did like it, please give me a thumbs up in the box down below. And also subscribe to my channel if you like these videos. So I will be back with another one pretty soon. Enjoy your beading.